Namaskar. I am Ravi Gupta. I am editor-in-chief of a magazine called Digital Learning. And Digital Learning is India's first and only magazine focusing on ICT and innovation in education since year 2005. We are here at the inaugural session of the 17th edition of the World Education Summit. World Education Summit started in 2011, started by Elets, and we had the honor of having Professor Abdul Kalam in our inaugural session of this event, which was held physically. And he was the person who inspired us to organize this mega event. And after that, we have been doing this event year after year across various cities in India and outside India. And we have gone to Dubai, we have gone to Bahrain, we have gone to Denver in USA, and also had satellite events of this mega events in Cambridge, Thailand, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, and several other countries of the world. And also, we had organized this summit in Mumbai and Hyderabad, also inside India. So we are here at the 17th edition, and the first time we have gone virtual, and we are having today in this school edition of the World Education Summit more than 100 speakers and more than 2,000 delegates who are joining us live on our 3D platform, which is called Avatar, and people are able to look at an online expo also and interact with the delegates and the exhibitors and also with the speakers. So we are honored to have with us in the inaugural keynote address Shri Manish Kumarji, who is the Chief Executive Officer of National Skill Development Corporation. Namaskar, Manish sir. Thanks for joining with us. Namaskar. So, very important. Like, let me contextualize the situation. Like after the COVID, you can see that our events have gone virtual. We are all going through a once in 100-year transformation, which happens like COVID-19 is impacting us all over, like all the society. So in this context, how is the school education, how will the higher education change, and how will the skill development scenario evolve? And we will listen to one of the topmost experts in the country, Manish, on this issue. So let me request Manish Kumar Ji to kindly deliver his keynote address of World Education Summit inaugural ceremony. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi Gupta ji. It's a great pleasure to be part of this conversation, which is an important one, given where India is currently. And I think the current COVID situation and the disruption because of it also makes it very relevant to discuss how things have been, what the future looks like. So I think what I will do is firstly place education and skills in perspective, the larger context in which things are evolving, and then talk a bit about what NSDC is doing, firstly on skills, and then what it does in skills and education, so the intersection of the two, and how we could actually scale it up, what are the recent initiatives that we have taken, what impact we have seen, a bit about that. So firstly, speaking about the current trends and the way we should look at both education and skills in the larger context, in the larger context that's evolving, not just within India, but I'm talking globally. If you look at our educational system, it is actually designed for Industry 2.0. Industry 2.0 is like a factory line. If you have seen a car being manufactured, then it starts with a simple chassis at one end, and then gradually things get added, and it moves along the factory line. And at different stops, people actually fix the tires. Somebody will fix the windows. Somebody will fix the roof, and therefore, at the end of that line, you would actually end up with a car eventually. Our educational system is almost like that. We start with class 1, we go to 2, we go to 3, and then you'll find you go up to 12. So it's almost like what we have adopted as our educational system is basically a reflection of a past time when Industry 2.0 was at its peak, and it served the purpose well. You had the foundational knowledge which you picked up from schools and colleges, and then went on to do a job where you learned more about many of those things. Often, some of us who have actually studied in that system, would often say that you get the academic knowledge in the schools and colleges, and the practical knowledge in offices. That's how we would distinguish the two. Although in reality, practical and theoretical are always intermixed, and theory does not come from vacuum. It actually derives itself from practice. But the distinction between the two was extremely heavy in the manner it was in the past. And people learned on the job and therefore evolved into their jobs, going into different positions. And usually they worked all their life in one organization. That is usually how I think life was. Now comes a life transforming technology. Sometime in 1990s, a life transforming technology in the form of internet and the digital revolution that followed with mobile, with the use of data, with data science, with AI now, cybersecurity becoming important. So you look at the whole paradigm beginning to start changing from 1990s. And usually there are very few life transforming technology in human civilization. This is one of them, and what essentially it implies is that how human beings interact and how it adapts to its environment changes because of this life transforming technology. The earliest ones were, for example, wheel, fire. These were life transforming. When you had wheel, then people began to create chariots, and therefore, movement became easier. So that's in the ancient time. And if you come to the more modern times, then you find this discovery about electromagnetism and various other things led to new ways of how we produce energy, how we transmit messages, and all that. So I think there are very few of these, and this is one which has come currently to the human world, and you can easily see many of us who have lived both sides of it, that how life has got transformed, how even in this pandemic, and there was one in 1819, for example, when people wouldn't have been able to communicate. But even in this pandemic, Mr. Gupta is able to set up an audience of 2,000, and we are able to communicate. This is only going to get better. There is just one-way communication at the moment, and we are at the infancy of internet. Maybe if 20 years down the line, the whole technology will be different, and the whole method by which we communicate and distribute information is going to be very, very different. So we are fast evolving, and that's what I was emphasizing. So with this life transforming technology coming in, and I think how we adapt to that in the context of education becomes quite critical. Few things to remember, and I think draw inspiration from, is as this life transforming technology was occurring, we have also found that Indians have excelled at it. So if you look at the biggest IT companies in the world, it's led by Indians, Mr. Sundar Pichai, Mr. Nadella. So you realize that these were people from 1990s who picked up the trends very early, and we therefore began to excel at it. Some of them are at leadership role today, and generally across the world, Indians are known for being very friendly towards IT, very friendly towards softwares, and therefore we are doing well. Now, question is how these things add up to what the future lies in terms of education. Few things about education and its interaction with this life transforming technology is important to understand. As life is changing, the businesses are also changing. Unlike in the past, when businesses could predict what will be the nature of the business maybe 2 years down the line, and what is the technology that they will use for that. Today, that prediction is far much more difficult because of the rate at which the technology is changing. Essentially, that means that anybody who runs a company usually prefers a person who understands the immediate technology as he or she comes into the job and has the capability to keep adapting and learning as the technology evolves. So essentially, therefore, it's not about just doing one engineering 4-year course and then getting into a lifetime kind of job. What you might require is actually a small capsule of 3 to 6 months, which gives you current knowledge of what is that changing technology that is current as of now and the manner in which it is changing. So, firstly, when you go for a job, you are current. You know immediately what is it which is needed in the market. So therefore the skills becomes important in education. So I'm not saying that the foundation is not important. It is very critical because that's what provides the basis of how we think. Knowledge is about, it's like bricks. You have to lay one over the other. But I think what's happening now is the last bricks that we lay and which are relevant to job, they become very critical, because if you lack them, then there is a fear in the mind of people who employ that would this person be immediately useful to me. So therefore they are looking for people who have short-term skills, immediate skills of need, certified for that, and therefore prefer those kind of people. And I think even if you look at how the job market is changing, this is something to which we all need to appreciate, and we should be adapting, and that's the reality of life as it is. So this is one part of my thought which I wanted to share. The second is that in this paradigm, what should we do and how should we go about it? So I think in the case of National Skill Development Corporation, what we have done is we have tried to identify in 37 different sectors of economy, whether it is gems and jewelry, whether it is aviation, whether it is capital goods, whether it is logistics, retail, tourism and hospitality, different sectors of economy, 37 of them. We look at it in depth, and through industry leaders try to understand now what is that nature of jobs that is emerging and what competencies are needed for those jobs. We do a very detailed analysis of that, and then we create what we call qualification packs. So each qualification pack is related to a job in the market, and we provide a very structured way of learning the competencies relating to that job. What is it that needs to be taught, and how would you be assessed to realize or to become sure that you are qualified for that job? So that whole framework has been developed over time. We have almost 2,500 different courses for that purpose at the moment. So this is one part. And secondly, we have also created an infrastructure through private partners across India. So we have almost 600 plus partners, and they are running about 10,500 centers across India. And therefore they become the conduit through which these 2,500 courses are therefore spread out. There's a lot of money which Government of India spends through Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Prime Minister's Kaushal Vikas Yojana is one of the flagship program, and they are of course targeted towards those who have lesser income and would therefore find it difficult to pay on their own. So it's qualification framework. So you will see that there is a partnership between both the private and the government that we have been able to forge, and we therefore have been able to take this whole idea of skills and the way it is relevant to the industry in that manner out to the students. Now, what we do in schools is also interesting. We operate in schools too, almost 10,700 schools. Uh, of course, that is a program run by the Ministry of Education. We support through our training partner. We have almost 50 training partners who run 72 different courses in that, in these schools. And the idea is that level 2, 3, and 4 of National Skill Qualification Framework courses relating to that, as might be relevant to students who might not be too willing after class 12 to remain in education, but want to actually go out and work. So the idea is, can we begin to teach them certain skills that it becomes easy for them to go and take a job? So you not only teach them, but you assess and you certify them through the sector skill councils. So that's the methodology which we have created. I think almost every year about 3 lakh students take that, and so far I think we have been able to certify almost 16 lakh students over time. This, of course, is more like a pilot given India's scale, and we need to do far much more. We are in close touch with Ministry of Education through Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship to do more about it. And there is a lot of, I think, a lot of interest even within CBSE that how we could, scale this up in schools, so that not only do you have the traditional education going on, but the skill development also packaged and provided there. In higher education too, there are 500 different colleges into which we have been able to embed um, skills, and we are also trying to link it with apprentice so that it becomes easy for somebody not only to learn but to go into the market and use your skills and get better at the work that has been taught to you. So those are some of the new methods that we have taken. Finally, I just wanted to maybe spend 1 or 2 minutes on the impact which skilling makes, and because it's very important to know that when we skill people, does it really change the life if you skill somebody for 3 to 6 months? So in the case of PMKVY, there are two types of program that we run. One is called the short-term training that I spoke of, 3 to 6 months. The second is what we call recognition of prior learning. So somebody could already be skilled in India, but does not have a certification because he or she were too poor to actually go to a formal school and get a certificate. They just entered the labor market. So therefore, this recognition of prior learning is more targeted towards the poor. When we look at short-term skilling, the one which is 3 to 6 months, what we have realized is that uh, a person who gets trained, a young person who gets trained, and then gets assessed, certified, and is provided a job, compared to him, a person who doesn't get skilled, doesn't get certified, but still gets a job and is of the same cohort, the one who is skilled actually gets 15% more wages. That is what we have found through a randomized sample survey, which is very clear indication that when a person goes skilled into the market, the market seems to respond to that skilling. They seem to appreciate this extra skill that person brings, and therefore pays 15% more wages. The challenge that is something which as a society we'll have to deal with in India is that every person who is getting job in average gets about 9,000 rupee as a young person. The aspiration of the young person is 18,000 rupee per month, and therefore there is a mismatch between what the person gets and what the person aspires. It's almost like half of the aspiration. And this is, we often take this up with the industry to understand that why don't you scale up? Because that will make the newcomers more happier. And they come back saying that it will make their profitability very low and that they will not be sustainable if they were to pay so high. So that's the challenge, I think, that how do you ensure higher wages to the labor? And partially this trend of not paying labor high enough is not something just in India, but it's a global phenomena that from 1990s onwards, when the technology advancement has become very rapid, the rate of return to labor has actually declined. The rate of return to capital has actually increased. So more money is being spent on technology so that you can become better and better, but uh, less and less money is actually spent on wages. So that's a challenge which is global, and we obviously find that difficult. But it's good to know that this is the aspiration, and it's also satisfying to observe that those who were skilled get 15% more wages. And a back of envelope calculation shows that every 1 rupee that you invest in skills leads to a 4 rupee return over time. Every 1 rupee leads to 4 rupee return over time, of which 2 rupee goes to the labor and 2 rupees goes to the industry through increase in productivity. So that's the positive gain that occurs. On the case of RPL, recognition of prior learning, we have found that when you skill somebody and certify through the recognition of prior learning methodology, when you assess the person, give them certain bridge courses, um, two, three things happens, which is really commendable, and I think is very powerful in terms of his ability to transform lives. First is it touches the lives of the poorest the most. So the weaker you are in the society, greater is its impact on you. How does that impact come about? In average, a person who takes or who goes to RPL gets a 25% increase in the wages in about 6 months' time, which is a very big increase. But there are two things which additionally happens. First thing is many of these people who never knew what is the value add that they make to society, they get greatly enthused when they realize how how they are adding to the GDP of the country. So it provides a meaning to their life. So, for example, if somebody is making carpets for any of the company, they're doing a small part of it. They probably don't know how that is transforming the larger economy. How is it contributing to larger economy? But when they are taught through the RPL process that this is how you're linked to the larger market, that brings meaning to the lives, and that's really really satisfying to them. That I've been doing this all my life. I never knew that the carpets I make actually serve hotels in New York, for example, and that brings a lot of joy and satisfaction. Secondly, I think it creates huge amount of confidence among people. Almost 80% of them say that we feel much more confident about our own self now. And thirdly, it provides mobility, very important, because if supposing for any reason they are not satisfied with the wages, they want to move out to a new employer. Earlier, they could not do because they had nothing to certify that they have that particular skills. But now, with the recognition of prior learning certification, they can actually go to a competitor and say that, well, if you pay me more, it creates labor market mobility, and therefore the bargaining power of labor actually increases, and that's a very very positive gain. That's the reason why that 25% increase happens within 6 months, as I was saying. So, so these are some of the positive impact that it's creating, and I think it's important to know them because that gives you reason why we need to invest more of our energy and attention to this very important aspect of life, which is skilling, and embedding that into the overall paradigm of education. So I think with the new education policy coming in, vocational education becoming more important, this will get embedded more and more over time. We are working very closely with both Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and Ministry of Education to ensure that this happens, and everybody benefits out of it, and the youth benefits most out of it. So thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion today. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Manishi. I think that you have provided a ringside view of the whole skill development sector, and gives a overall a perspective also that how it is important both for the school and higher education ecosystem to engage with the school education uh, system, because we need much more skilled workers. Just to request you to elaborate more on the school education part of NSDC, and how you are focusing, and how the new education policy is giving importance on the vocational education. That will be of interest to our audience. Manish, you are on mute,
Yeah, so
Manish.
in the current systems, as it is, the state governments actually takes initiative for skills in schools, and they work closely with us for identifying training partners who are our partners. They could actually both create infrastructure, bring trainers, and use the methodology that we have evolved over time to skill children. And as I mentioned, there are 72 different trades on which it is done. And these trades have been identified in close consultation with the schools, and varies from place to place. We work in about 27 different states, so each will vary. Um, the schools where it should be there is decided by the state governments, not so much by us. The payment also happens through the state government directly to the training partner. Our job is more to provide the technical know-how and to ensure a proper selection of the training partner who can do it. We also take up innovative things. So, for example, we have tried to introduce a very modern way of doing skill development through digital platform in Haryana. and this is through Kunskapsskolan model of Sweden, where essentially a lot of attention is provided to individuals, far much more than normally we do in India. And the idea is that uh, there would be a online platform, and there would also be somebody who pays individual attention to, let's say, 2 or 3 students, so that as they are learning and evolving, then the very specialized guidance is provided to them to ensure that they really build up skills in a much higher level. And this Kunskapsskolan model is will be tested in about 100 schools in Haryana, and then depending upon its success, will be scaled up. Kedman and Manav Rasne University are the ones who are actually providing a lot of support for this initiative. So that's another piece of it. And the idea is that all the learning that we have now, including our own learnings through eSkill India platform that we have, we will be trying to see if schools could you make use of it. We have actually platform where about 700 courses are present, as I said, in 37 different sectors, and they are in 9 different languages, just to ensure that people could actually learn in languages that is easy for them. So therefore, the idea is that more of these things become popular within schools. I guess we are in currently difficult situation where the outreach capacity is limited to what we are doing at the moment, the online platforms. But I think the need for blended learning will become more critical in future. Essentially, once the normalcy returns, I think a lot of content will also be provided online, but there would be instructors who would be present in the school with prior training on how to communicate something which might be coming through a visual media, but requires also a personal attention in the classroom. So that's the blended learning model that we believe is superior to the purely digital model. And I think lastly, one thing which is a matter of concern for us is also that um, when we go digital and we rely on it too much, we have to be always mindful that there are people at the bottom of income pyramid whose capacity both to procure smartphones as well as to pay for data might not be as high. So how do you deal with that problem? That's something we have to grapple around, and I'm quite sure that the government is going to step in and do quite a bit in that area. So these are a few thoughts which I wanted to share. Thanks.
Fantastic. And let me welcome our speaker, Dr. Biswajit Saha, who is a director at CBSE, and he is the person who is leading a lot of changes, a lot of new initiatives in the CBSE. So let me welcome him. Namaskar, Biswajit ji, and namaskar. So
Namaskar also.
yeah. So let me request Biswajit Sahaji that first of all, thank you for joining us at World Education Summit. And Dr. Biswajit, you have joined us in our a lot of past editions of the World Education Summit, but they were held in physical platforms. This
Yes.
first World Education Summit, which we are have gone virtual, and thanks for joining us here in the inaugural session. So, Dr. Saha, we request you to deliver a keynote address on the current changes happening in the school education system and impact of COVID, and how are we like how as CBSE we are looking at the scenario, and how are we adopting digital, and how what is the way forward in school education. Over to you,
Yeah.
Vishwajit Sahaji.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. First of all, I was listening, Manish sir, the way that skill promotion and atmosphere NSDC is creating in the country. It is really exemplary. So, in reference to school education, what new education's policy is aiming, and then due to the pandemic's times, how school leader is definitely trying to bring the ecosystems in a all together in a different dimensions. Again, it's a praiseworthy work by our all school leader. And from the side of Central Board of Secondary Educations, now our focus is towards qualitative development of school. And qualitative development of schools in, I want to mean here that we have more than 23,000 schools, but in different parameters we are trying to equate them, and through different parameters we want to understand the modalities of education delivery. And there we found there are a lot of variations. And now our core focus is how we can minimize these variations. And CBSE schools at a remote place or a urban or even in a metro cities, that quality should be at par. And that is our core focus now. And in fact, we are trying for several years, but we want to promote this idea so that whoever is passed out from our systems, and if in terms of percentage of marks or in terms of personality, in terms of their communication skills, in every domain they should be at par. I know there are certain difficulties uh, uh, in terms of measurement. We may not so accurate in all those years takes, but definitely with the help of school leader, with the help of school teachers, and with the help of parents community, and I think there is a way out. And that's why we are trying to change first of all towards affiliations bylaw of CBSE. And there are lot of innovative methodologies are going to be adapted in days to come. Number one. Number two, already we have introduced that virtual platform. Through virtual platform we have started that school inspections. And so that is giving enough freedom to the school teachers and even the new schools management to showcase the real time scenario of the schools. So, second focus is towards academic interventions, academic development, teachers training. So, all those parameters are now closely being monitored so that school, of course, this year due to the pandemic, there are a lot of interventions towards sports and other activities are not that way happening. But of course, once it would be restored, then our core focus, and that's why a good number of principals are helping us. They are working as a part of the core team to formulate that school quality assessment and accreditations framework. And they are we want to promote this kind of idea in a non-threatening manner. Non-threatening manner because sometimes school management confused with, okay, if certain parameters we are not able to score high, then there is a possibility of threat from the side of our affiliations wing. No, not at all. So our core focus is how, first of all, through some sort of sensitizations will be there, and thereafter uh, we will identify some mentor, and those mentor are going to help all the schools to understand all kind of parameter. They are already intelligent; they will understand. But besides that, some sort of help from the side of CBSE, so that uh, ultimately together we can grow with that concept. The hub of learning was implemented 2 years back, and that is still in the progression level. I think through that mechanisms also we want to try different kind of academic interventions, sport interventions, innovations in schools atmosphere, and especially to create a imaginations atmosphere in the schools. So new education's policy talks about the bagless day. Now there are several brainstorming sessions are going on in the different part of the country and even our foreign schools. So how to utilize that? So we want effective suggestions from you, from the school leader, from the community thought leader, so that, and even from the side of the student. So one way, certain prescribed things we can definitely give, formulate, but ultimately for effective implementation, and school leader, school management, state government, all together we need to work upon. The second agenda towards qualitative development, what we are aiming to implement, it's key stage assessment, because usually it has been seen that board interventions comes towards assessment only at class 10th and class 12, and that too also we prescribe that the similar analogy should be followed for class 9 and 11, and that effectively schools are following. But for classes 1 to 8, our intervention is very minimum. So now, to understand the quality, to understand the child's performance, and also motivate them towards competency based assessment, board is planning for key stage assessment at 3, 5, and 8. And it would be voluntary in nature, and all schools on their own, they are supposed to conduct this assessment, and it would be a school based performance indicator. It is not going to affect individual, or not going to decide how that individual student will be pass or failed based on that assessment or not. Not exactly. From our side, it would be always no. It is only to understand how the class 3 students are performing, so that that too also basic understanding of their class 1 and 2, whether class 5 students are going to understand the basic concept of 3 4 or not, that we want to understand. Similarly for class 8, all the below classes concepts are clear to them or not, that also we want to understand. So that understanding from our side, through some research analogy, can be given to a school, so that school understand where are the lacuna, and accordingly they can definitely look into and they can formulate the policy for improvement. And each and every individual child is important in the systems, whether it is from the CWSN or from the EWS or from different category. So our aim is how a holistic growth will be there for the schools, and again in a non-threatening way we are going to help the schools handle the schools, and the neighboring schools are going to handle the other schools. So that concept of hub and spoke model would be geared up at another level, so that total cohesion and total communications gaps can be reduced, and the competitions should be there in terms of qualitative growth, not financials and other terms. So here, my humble request: how all the school leader, university, industry, and different ministry, we can work together for total qualitative growth in schools, where child should be our primary focus. I think through that way we all can give a self-reliant individuals to higher education, to industry, and also help them to become a global citizen, because the employment issues or entrepreneurial issues is a critically need to be analyzed. Different survey reports are giving different kind of dynamic. So it is high time that for K-12 sector, how technological interventions would be there. And of course pandemic times, it gives a huge confidence to the school leader to invest on digital technology, and that is going to give a huge dividend in future also, because this is not a one time investment, but this is going to help the schools, help the student. The concept of home schooling, that asynchronous learning, all those concept and blended approach, the flipped approach would be more effective in days to come. And moreover, the parents, student, and all these professional communities will get a huge opportunity. And by means of this digital technology, another advantage is that any professional teachers, good teachers, from schools, college, university, or a individual who has having that teaching ability, they can showcase, they can come into the platform and clarify your doubt. And I think there are a lot of such teachers available in YouTube or in other platform. And from the side of CBSE and from the side of Ministry of Education's Government of India, in every platform I urge, Diksha is a such platform where there is an enormous, it's a huge repository. So make start using it. And secondly, even for the teachers capability development also, we are coming in a very big way, and definitely we are going to utilize the digital platform only, so that teachers at their leisure time take up any kind of course, so whether it is MOOC or competency based education or experiential learning or subject specific enrichment program. So all those things are already available, and by another 6 months we are going to load with another huge number. So be ready and must use all the digital technology platform of Government of India, and of course from the other party also, who are very much qualitatively conscious about their content. Thank you very much, Gupta ji, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. And may I request Manish, sir, if he's still here, if he can switch on the camera. And Vishwajit ji, like if you can also be on the camera, like we can have a picture together with both of you. And let me request Dr. Biswajit and Manish ji to a one single question, which is all the audience is like thinking about, and it is like everyone is thinking about COVID-19, and everyone is thinking about vaccines and the impact on each of us. So you both are representing institutions which are very important for our education system, skill education, school and skill education, school and skills. So requesting your views, like how is Dr. Vishji ji, like how you are NEPH talked about vocationalization of education in vocational education in schools. So if you can give your views, and I will also request Manish sir to respond on how you are looking at collaboration with organization like CBSE. So that's my I think question about how do skills and schools collaborate with each other. So Vijay ji, over to you, please.
Yes, yes. So I think there is a very conducive atmosphere we are creating, and especially I am thankful to Manish sir, because NSDC is also prompt on, and including the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurships are very prompt on our request. So uh, together we have planned so many activities, and first one which very soon CBSE is going to announce is junior skill competitions in line of world skill competition. The entire concept is came from NSDC. So jointly NSDC and CBSE has partnered to organize India Junior Skills Competitions 2020, or rather it would be 2021. From January, we are going to start our campaigning, but maybe from December, in the month of December itself, we are planning to launch together. So our chairman and Manish sir will launch this program very soon. And besides these, the teachers capability development, and we are also identifying some schools where NSDC under PMKBY are going to mentor the teachers and also implement the skills in true spirit. So these are two immediate activity, and in long run there are huge activities under NSQF, especially teachers training, and in terms of PMKBY and other short-term skill development projects we are aiming. So now my request to the school leader is, the second half of the schools beyond 2 p.m., the entire infrastructure is idle. So how our CBSE schools can becomes a lifelong learning center, both in terms of skill, adult literacy, community service, sports activities. So these things we need to work together, and there NSDC is ready to help in a very big way. So let us take that advantage and make use of it, so that unlike all developed nation, this country also think of creating a continuous learning environment in school ecosystems. Thank you. That's we are aiming at this point of time.
Sorry, great inputs, Dr. Saha, and requesting Manish ji, if you can talk about collaboration with the CBSE and other school boards across the country. There are state boards also, ICSE board also. If you can mention about that.
Firstly, I think I must deeply appreciate the leadership within Ministry of Education in general on their embracing of skills as something which needs to be adapted and embedded into the current education system. And I think one of the areas where it's moving fastest is CBSE, and we will obviously be taking up with others also, and we are in communication with the colleges, the schools. And in the past too, there has been interest, but I think the interest that we see now is far much more deeper. And CBSE obviously is, I mean, extremely aggressive and very deep. Uh, I mean, there was a discussion about this junior world skill competition. The idea behind that is to socialize this idea of skilling to the students, because skilling is not seen as aspirational. People often think skilling is like, okay, I didn't do very well in my education, that's why I'm getting skilled. But as I had explained, it's not about you doing well or not doing well. You, regardless of how well you do, skills would become necessary. That's how the world is evolving. And it may be that somebody will get skilled as, let's say, cybersecurity expert. The other could get skilled as a sales associate, and both of them are skills in their own ways. The level of sophistication may vary. That's true. So therefore, I think skilling is coming and going to stay. That I think has been deeply appreciated within the Ministry of Education, and CBSE is taking the lead. From our side, I think the way we would like to partner is with full realization that India is both country and a continent. We are 1.3 billion people, which is equal to the population of the entire African subcontinent, which has 40 countries. And within us, there are so many languages. And if you look at the socioeconomic profile, to give you a bit of that understanding, if I look at the labor force in India, anybody who earns 26,000 rupee or less is actually the bottom 25% of India. The 25% to 50 percentile earn between 26,000 and 37,000 rupee per month. Anybody who earns between 37,000 to 57,000 rupee per month is within the 50th percentile to the 75th percentile. Anybody who earns above 57,000 is obviously like the top 25% of India's income. Anybody who earns more than 88,000 rupee per month is actually top 10% of India's income profile. So I'm putting this out because it gives you a sense of how you might have to approach Tripura when it came to, let's say, the district of Dhalai, which is one of the poorest in the country. How would you take skills there would differ hugely with how do you take skills in, let's say, South Delhi. It will not be the same. So the whole approach, and will have to be differentiated. Good thing is that we have the capacity for both. We have divided the country into about 100 different economic clusters. A cluster consists of 5 or 6 districts and have the same socio-economic profile in a way. And therefore, we are able to predict what are the 5, 7 top economic activity which is relevant for that cluster. So therefore, when we partner with schools, we would like in that cluster, the schools take up those kind of activity which are relevant to that cluster, because then they can see an immediate result out of it. If you take up rubber, for example, in Tripura, or you take it in Kerala, these are 2 rubber producing places, you can see immediate benefit of doing that skill. But if I were to introduce that in Delhi, people might understand, but they can't really relate to it because it's not the local economy. So I think we will basically try to tie up this whole thing with the demand-driven approach of the economy in that respective area. That's where the private sector comes in quite hugely. We also have, for your information, a very interesting portal called SIM portal that we started on 10th of July, which is a directory of skilled people. So everybody whom we skill, we push into that, the names. But at the back end is an interesting algorithm that runs where private sector post their jobs in various sectors. Could be security, could be logistics, could be retail, could be tourism and hospitality, could be healthcare. They push their data into it in terms of demand, and the artificial intelligence based algorithm matches the people who are skilled and are looking for employment with the jobs. And the idea is to provide a job which is nearest to your home, so that the migration that we saw because of pandemic, that can be minimized, and even otherwise the stress that comes with migration, that can be minimized. We have noticed that longer distance people migrate, they can be in more difficult condition unless the wages were high enough. So therefore, that's, and between July 10th and today, we have been able to provide 9 lakh job offers using this platform in the private sector. And we would be using these too for students who, after class 12, would actually want to get to job market for a few years rather than continuing education. So I think there are various interconnectivity that we have been able to create, and the idea would be that whoever we partner with, we provide them this full suite of solution end to end, beginning from counseling down to employment, the entire chain through which the skilling occurs. Thank you.
Sure. So may I request Dr. Saha to switch on the camera and come on the stage, and we will end the session. Before we end it, I will request the honorable dignitaries to launch the cover of the next issue of our monthly magazine, Digital Learning. So virtual launch. So requesting my colleague to put on the uh, cover on the screen. So this is a special issue on top schools of India, which will be powered by UniApply. So we are going to cover the best of the schools of this country. And let me request our request our speakers to please virtually accept our speaker certificates of the World Education Summit. Thanks for joining us, sir. This is for you, Manish sir, CEO of NSDC, of a very enlightening presentation. Thank you so much. And requesting our other certificate for Shri Biswajit Saha, who is a director from CBSE. Thanks for joining us, Biswajit. Namaskar. So, बहुत बहुत
Thank you.
धन्यवाद. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, and end the session
Thank you.
here. Namaskar. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, Ravi sir, for this wonderful inauguration. And our next session, we are moving for our next session, School at Technology as Motivating Force to Develop Language Learning as a Skill by Akash Singh, Manager, Product Training and Development, Globus Infocom. So I would like to invite Mr. Akash Singh to share his presentation and make it available to all the persons that are right now audience that is available in the World Education Summit. So it's over to Akash.
Okay. So, well, thank you so much to each one of you connected with me on this session. I'm Akash. On behalf of Globus Infocom, I would like to say thanks to each one of you on this session. Along with that, I would like to say thanks to the organizing team who have, come up with this idea to have a discussion on multiple topics through these virtual sessions. So my topic is completely on Digital Language Lab, an initiative taken by Globus Infocom. So let's move ahead. Before get into the presentation or the topic I have come up with, I would like to discuss something through a video which says all about the journey of Globus Infocom, all our services, what all product and solutions range we have, and what all we have achieved so far. So let's have a look on this video.
Technology not only builds a country, but it touches lives on so many levels. Technology builds lives. Technology saves lives. Technology transforms lives. At Globus Infocom, we believe in constant innovation and improvisation in technology to make it more advanced, accessible, and sustainable.
Globus Infocom Limited is a leading Make in India brand, designing and developing technology solutions in different verticals. Being a very strong name in education technology industry for the past 2 decades, we have also been providing solutions in 3 more verticals, which are collaborative conferencing and professional displays, security and surveillance, and healthcare and wellness.
The rise of digital India and the growing presence of technology in classrooms has led Globus to provide technologically empowered, holistically designed solutions. Our wide products basket ranges from smart classroom solution to highly advanced digital language labs and virtual classroom solutions. Our aim is to not only provide academic education, but also making education accessible to every part and develop languages as skill. We have also brought in innovation and advancement in collaborative conferencing and professional display industry, offering a wide range of displays with full HD 4K technology, avant-garde aesthetics, and modern tools. Our tailor-made communication and conferencing solutions deliver highly productive and meaningful communication experience. Our wide portfolio in security and surveillances offer diverse range of security cameras with high-quality images requiring minimum bandwidth and storage. Advanced technology and innovative features like Zoom, night vision, and smart video analytics have enabled these products to cater to the ever-changing, unique requirements of different clients and organizations. In this post-COVID world, our newest vertical of healthcare and wellness promises quality technology solutions, which are designed to effectively tackle the spread of any outbreak by effectively working on the strategy of early discovery, awareness, and sanitization to prevent diffusion, controlled access, and evidence management. Our transparent work ethics, cost-effective solutions, and relationships built over years have led to immense trust and support from our valued channel partners and customers, keeping us thriving and innovating to bring you the best of both worlds. And then there is our highly qualified and skilled team of specialists working together, inventing and innovating every day to set Globus Infocom apart.
With an experience and knowledge for the past 19 years, we still feel that our journey has just begun. With the recent developments, there is a revolutionary shift in the technology paradigm and the mindset of consumers, and Globus Infocom Limited believes that we have miles to go and achieve.
What sets us apart, you ask? We're a proud Make in India brand with pan-India sales and service network and a huge clientele base consisting of leading education institutions, central and state government organizations to PSUs, defense, police, paramilitary forces. A team of skilled professionals and experts constantly innovating. We are the pioneers of tomorrow. We are Globus.
Thank you so much for paying your attention to the video. Once again, I would like to welcome you back to the presentation. Let's move forward. And I believe you have seen the journey we started with. We started in 2001, and it's been more than 19 years, and we are working consistently to deliver you with our innovations, the dreams we had seen 19 years back. We started with a small kitty of products, but as of now, you can see just because of you, your feedback, your support, you have become a motivation for us, and that's how we have expanded our wings through our products and solutions. So now let's discuss the topics I have come up with in front of you. So we are going to discuss a couple of benefits of digitization we have seen in recent years, and I believe you all would submit your consent that that we have seen a different shift in last I would say more than 15 years. We have seen so much digitization across the nation or across the globe, I would say. Though there are various benefits, but I have marked a couple of benefits, out of which the first one is no physical limits for storage. So back in 20 years, we had seen that there was a complete room required, for storing our data. But as of now, we can see through cloud integrations or different services which are based on cloud again, enables us to not to be dependent on any physical requirement for keeping our data or storing some essential topic. So that's how we can see there is no physical dependency on any storage. The second thing is improve accessibility to information. Obviously, when we are connected with internet or we integrate couple of security modules like AES 128 or 256, we are not only saving our data, but also there is an improved accessibility. Being any corner of the globe, through our mobiles, laptop or desktop, we can simply access those data. Integrated online resources. Yes, education has been, as you had seen this video also, we have variety of solutions available with us pertaining to education. So and education has been one of our strongest forte. So we can integrate a couple of online resources which makes the life easy of our students and teachers, and that's how digitization is helping a lot in this segment as well. There was a time we remember, we if I take myself back in my classroom days, we had seen there was a file, and if a teacher wanted to share that file with their students, it was very hard to share in that 30 or 40 minutes time. But through this digital concept, we can share a single file with multiple users. So that's how it is enabling and helping a lot. And yes, digital transformation that we need to adopt, because there are a variety of benefits being by going digital. So that's how this digitization is spreading across the globe and helping a lot to a human life, not only a teacher or a person, but you can take an example of a common man. You can see at shops also, people are going for digital transaction. That is helping a lot. So there are variety of examples which can be discussed on these digitization benefits. Well, going next, we have something when technology enters into the education or the handshakes with the education, then teachers can do wonders for their students. So a couple of things are there on the screen. Unlimited reach to the teaching resources. Obviously, when internet, a minimal internet bandwidth is available into the classroom, teachers can do wonders with their students. Teacher can take their students, out from these four boundaries of the classroom. Multiple topics can be discussed, can be taught with different teaching pedagogies. You can simply take example of YouTube. An audience in education is being shifted to education, or the video modules based on animation, 3D. So this is just because of technology. Technology is helping a lot to teachers, technology is helping a lot to our students, and that's how we have seen the impacts of this technology. Easier attendance. There was a time when teacher used to take 10 to 15 minutes for just marking the attendance, but through various tools available in the school system, through ERP, through biometric system, we can simply have the attendance just in 1 or 2 minutes, and that's how it saves the time. And time is obviously a very essential part for a teacher, because in a 40 minute of time, if you are able to save your 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that becomes very crucial, very beneficial for a teacher. Session as per learners' interest and pace. Yes, we cannot deny the fact that engagement is a key for any teacher. The way teacher engages their students, the students are more focused on any topic. So how they will engage? When a teacher finds students living in a digital audio visual world, so teacher also needs those tools into their classroom, because the students compare the way they are living or growing in in a society or in an environment they also demand that. So that's how technology is helping a lot to the students and teachers as well. Environmental friendly, obviously there was a time when we used to conduct so many things on raw paper. So paper also demands, and cutting of tree, we all know that by cutting the trees we manufacture. There are various manufacturers who are working in this industry. There was a time we were in favor of that, but yes, by a shift of the time, we are becoming more environmental friendly. That is a responsibility of being a citizen of any country. We need to save our earth, we need to save trees. Then future ready, obviously if we are making our students ready for present, that's how they are becoming ready for tomorrow as well. So the more technology we are integrating in our education or in our curriculum, the students are becoming ready for tomorrow. Yes, going next. So how Globus is contributing in this revolution? Uh, I would like to say that in this revolution, we are trying to bring smiles to our students, those students who are far away from the technology, from the modern tools which are being used in the classroom. So as you can see in the picture, teachers and students are using our solutions offered to them. And proudly, I am saying that we have made this possible, to deliver, to implement these solutions at those locations where connectivity and commuting issues are there. But still, we have successfully delivered these things there. And not only this, we have successfully implemented these products and successfully done the installations and trainings to motivate the teachers and students. And when a student smiles after using these products, that becomes a blessing for us, because students and teachers both are the pillars of education. And education is the only essential key which we dream for our new India, we wish or we dream for our new India. So that's how we find blessed ourselves to be delivering these kind of solutions to our Indian schools, all majorly in government schools. Moving next. So this is how, I mean, the topic was that I would like to discuss the project we implemented of digital language lab in Kendriya Vidyalayas of 100 schools. So there was an objective of the stakeholders, like what all they wanted to do. That was the key point we wanted to tap upon, like what the vision they are going to see, because being a variety of products and solutions available with us, we wanted to understand what is the objective of the department. So there was a simple objective. They wanted to focus on the language skills, the communication problems students are they have been facing to their students. And the second thing was that they wanted to integrate the technology into the classroom, in their raw classroom, because that is the essential thing. When a student of government school compares from some ex school, that those students are using smart class, robotics, ERP, or something else. So that's how this department was willing to incorporate the technology into the classroom, so that they enable teacher and student both with the technology and go further. Then as mentioned in the third point, quick and transparent progress report of individual learner. Yes, so teacher has two major responsibilities in the classroom. First thing is that delivering a session. Second thing is to assess that session, like how productive that session was. And the first thing is that delivering, so that already takes time. But the second thing takes a lot of time. Teacher has to go at micro level and they need to check each and everything, because that is the main part which is shared with their parents also. So they wanted to have a mechanism wherein quick and transparent report generates without any manual efforts. Third thing is to get systematic analytic for management assessment. Obviously, they wanted to understand, like whenever they want to have a look at teachers efforts and the student efforts. So we understood this point as well. To control and monitor entire class, yes, we integrated couple of things in that particular solution, so that teacher is sitting at one place and teacher can mentor and monitor, being at one place, to entire classroom, what students are doing, what content they are practicing upon, whether they are attentive or not, they are online or simply sitting idle. So that's how the ideas this department was having. The last point, which is very essential point, that they wanted to get entire thing just from one roof. I mean, they wanted to have everything implemented from one particular organization who is not only renowned in the industry, but also having and earning good customer experience. So that's how we understood all these objectives, and we tried to work upon, and that way we come up with this solution, which you can see on the screen. I have added one photo also. We tried to develop a software as soon as we could, because the first point, as it's written, it's language content of Hindi, Sanskrit, and English. So Globus has been doing a lot of implementations of English language lab software, but this was a new opportunity for us, wherein department was willing to focus on Hindi and Sanskrit also, being our native language and one of the oldest language. So we tried to work upon. We had round of meetings with development team, and that's how we designed this software. Then the second part being a hardware component as well, because you can see whatever you see on this photo, everything is done by us. Not only this software hardware part, everything you see, workstations are there, student PCs are there, headphones are there. So these entire concept was built by Globus Infocom. Yes, so this was the implementation part. We have the capacity of doing turnkey project, which is not easy for us, but yes, through your motivations, through your feedback, suggestions, we have the capacity, we have the energy of doing these turnkey projects. Globus has its name for turning and improvising one raw room into a fully functional digital language lab, as you can see on the screen also. And we have done lots of implementations across the nation of such labs. And implementation doesn't mean of doing just installations. It requires a lot of energy, lot of parameters to be followed, wherein one of the major thing is that whatever you are doing, that is done in the within defined time frame or not. So there was we did this project this year only, and this year we all will submit our consent that we have seen a lot of challenges, not only a single industry or any industry. We all as a society have faced lot many challenges. Every business vertical is has got impacted through this pandemic, but in those hiccups, we implemented this project within defined timeline. We delivered all the material, ensuring all proper precautions for our engineers team who were working on those sites. And along with that, we would like to say thanks to KV Sangathan also. They cooperated very well. They allowed us for doing these installations, and they helped a lot in many ways. Then, as I told earlier also, we did this implementation for 100 schools. And as you can see on this map also, we have covered from top to bottom. All these states are covered. All the major states are covered through this language lab solution. Then post implementation, initially we were finding the challenge to conduct the training. That is also a very essential part, to make our teachers introduce with the topic or introduce with the solution which is offered to them. So we came up with this virtual training concept, wherein teachers and principals they helped a lot. They simply cooperated, and that's how we could do 2 days training, extensive training program. Our engineer was obviously there. He was there to support them for practicing, and that's how we designed a couple of modules wherein practice material was there, user manual, video manual, so that post training, if they are looking for any support at their level, they were having all these details to be practicing, and we as a team at our corporate office were helping them at the back end for any assistance virtually. So that's how we could implement this training program very extensively. and still we are getting suggestions, feedbacks. After this we have got many appreciation letters also from the teachers. We have got many video as an appreciation for not only for implementing the project but also working on this crucial time. So let's talk about the software we delivered to teachers. So this software completely focuses on 4 fundamental skills which are required for learning anything. But focusing on this language, so it focuses on listening, speaking, reading, and writing, which is the natural process of learning anything. So that's how this is the key part of the software. Then also being an European language, if you talk about only English, so we follow the CEFR reference for learning English language, because we wanted to develop a software which follows all the parameters, all the proper parameters of learning English as a language. So as we agree that there are different learners which they start from basic, then they go for some different level, and then again they go for some different level. So this software is designed in such a way wherein a person who wants to learn English from scratch can start. Then once he is proficient in basic one, they can move to the independent level, and then probably in proficient level. So this software is having variety of modules which will enable a teacher to take their students in a fun ride as far as the delivery of the lecture is concerned. This entire solution was based on these 3 languages: Hindi, Sanskrit, and English. And the software follows the blended learning methodology, which is ILT and CBT. As you can see on this one picture which I have added, it says all about the ILT session, which means teacher has to stand there and teacher has to motivate the students for the topic, wherein once they are done, they can simply go for the practice part. So these 2 methodology are being followed in this entire concept. Once a student is done with this ILT part, teacher can assign them the exercise, which student simply can attempt being at their workstations, which is designed by us, and having their headphones and the entire connectivity, the networking part. Once they are done, this is the English part which I have added. Then we have Hindi and Sanskrit as well. So this is the Sanskrit part. We have designed this content also very beautifully for our Sanskrit learners. Once they're done, we can simply have an analytics which says all about the attempts done by these students. As you can see, how many how many exercises were assigned to them, how many were attempted, which are the correct, which are the incorrect. An entire score is also being generated, which works, you can use this as an examination or as your surprise test as well. So this entire analytical mechanism is there, wherein you can see teacher do not go for manual efforts. They can have simply recorded analytics. They can simply refer these to individual students or their parents or for their reference as well. Then after the software, we also provided this interactive display. This is one of our hot selling product, I would say. We can see that after projector, this is the technology which is being used in these schools very aggressively. And we cannot deny the fact that when things are moving digitally, then obviously there is advancement in digital products as well. So as of now, all these schools are using these products. We have done many installations of this product due to its beauty, and due to its different caterings. So what all key highlights are there? Let's discuss. So brightness and contrast ratio, these are the 2 major components for a teacher or for a student, which is very essential. So it gives you high class brightness and contrast ratio. Then again, for covering a classroom size, we need some audio system which can fulfill the need of entire classroom. So you can see 45 watt you get as an audio output, along with subwoofer, which makes your sound experience rich. Dual pen tip, so that teacher can instantly move their pen for writing or for heading. And most important, I would say, the power consumption, because this is also one of the important part for using any device. So it consumes very minimal power, that is 105 watt. So there are a couple of glimpses which I've captured for you in this session. So you can see teachers in different locations are connected. They are using this software. So that's how this language lab looks like. Digital language lab looks like, wherein you can see hardware components are there. Teachers are writing on the board. Students are doing the practice, being at their workstations using the headphones. So entire this concept is designed in such a way wherein student and teachers are more interested into the topic which is being taught or which is being learned. Then obviously you being our customers who obviously inspire us to go further. So you can see a couple of pictures are there, where in first image you can see Mr. Yogi Adityanath is inaugurating one of our proud product, that is virtual classroom, and connected with 43 locations, wherein all UP Police Corps training is done by our virtual classroom. And again, you can see in Goa, we have introduced this virtual classroom wherein students and teachers are learning any topic being at different corners of the country, which was inaugurated by Mr. Pramod Sawant. And the other moments you can see wherein students and teachers are sharing their moment with our solutions. In this slide also, you can see our textile minister, Mrs. Smriti Irani, is sharing the moment at NIFT Delhi through our digital podium and other products and solutions as well. One of the language labs we installed at Gurgaon and Hyderabad as well. You can see on the screens is out of various recognitions. There are a couple of things which I have pasted, and fortunately the second picture is from the last event we done at Hyderabad event only, WES award. So that's how the things are. And what are extra benefits for a customer for going with Globus Infocom? So Pan India Sales and Service Network is there, which makes our service wheels so easy, wherein any customer can tap us for any requirement. Our sales team is there to help them to understand any product and solution range. Service network is one of the essential part for any company, because service is a thing which makes your customer alive, which makes your customer alive for a longer run. And that's how we are going. No freight charges. Obviously, we do not charge for these minor things. Delivery, Pan India, we have Pan India delivery system, on-site warranty, which makes a customer's life so easy. Why Globus? So we are proud Make in India brand, and after this entire scenario, we can see we need to promote Make in India. We need to make our economy as better as we can. So that's how Globus is also trying to contribute to not only develop the employment in our country, but also to ensure that the products and solutions are being used in our country. Those are environment friendly, and those are designed, developed, and manufactured as per Indian environment. Pan India sales and support, as I already mentioned, we have customizable solutions. So any buyer who wants to have some customization in any product, we are always open for that. We have done more than 25,000 installations with 50% repeat ratio. That is the biggest achievement for us when a customer calls us for our product and solution experiences, and basis that they want to repeat the orders. Cost-effective and comprehensive solutions, obviously they are. Genuine spare parts and post-warranty support. So we have AMC system as well. So anyone who wants to go for AMC part, we are open for that. We have a skilled team of our engineers, of highly qualified engineers who are working for these products, be it a development part or be it an implementation part. So we have a team who is completely working on this part as well. Yes, so with this slogan, I would like to say embrace, encourage, and empower. And I would like to say thanks to each one of you connected with me on this session. We can simply refer the Q&A part, whatever we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. So I request all my audience to visit Globus Infocom Expo in our exhibition area So once you enter the lobby, you can visit the exhibition area also. So if you have any query, if you want to avail the solution of Globus Infocom, you can directly contact to the Globus Infocom team. And if you have any questions, you can drop us questions and we will get back to you all your answers with the Globus Infocom team. Thank you, Akash, and thank you, Rajeshwar. And I request Rajeshwar to put on AV and we will move to our next session, which is one of our panel discussion with the great education leaders of India. So I Rajeshwar to put the AV right now. We will